When I was in the Navy, I was fighting for my country. I was going to go over there like all my friends went ahead of me, and they never came back. But I had to wait until I was 17. Then I had to get my mother's signature. By the time I was in there, some of those guys had already been killed. They were killed over there in foreign soil. Some they buried over there, some they brought back, and some are going to be over there forever, the ones that's buried over there. And over here, it's in Arlington National Cemetery. I've been in Arlington. I stood honor guard for a general that was killed overseas. I think I'd done my military life pretty good for as young as I was, and seen all the suffering around in other foreign countries. Human beings supposedly doing this to other human beings.
I met my husband overseas. We were both in the 95th Evac Hospital. We spent the winter of 43 and 44 in Capua, Italy, and then we went in on the invasion of Anzio. And our hospital was bombed on Anzio, and because of that, our X-ray equipment was knocked out, and we weren't able to function as an evac hospital without X-ray. We lost 3 nurses and a Red Cross worker in the bombing. So until they got the unit back up to the numbers that we should have, we were on R&R, rest and relaxation. And at that time, to facilitate morale, they enlisted men had a hardball team, baseball team. And they decided that they should start a softball team for the nurses. And that's how I met my husband. He was our coach, and I was the head of the girls' team. And why, I don't know. I couldn't catch a ball in a bushel basket. But anyway, that's how we met.
The first part of our Air Force training was involved with military marching and all this sort of stuff. And so naturally, when I got in the Air Force, I had already had a couple of months of my military training. And the instructor picked on me a couple of times. He said, here's somebody that can listen to our commands and do it properly. Now I want him to come up to the front and we'll give him a command. And I want you to see how he does things. And so this is what happened. They picked on me to come up and they gave me commands, and I did military training to show the rest of my group what it was all about. It made me feel like $100. It made me feel good.
When I first went out of Farragut, I went to Bremerton, Washington. I was assigned to a unit they called Casu 7. Was assigned to the old Saratoga, and she'd just come back into dry dock, and after 5 kamikazes had hit her, and she'd limped back on her own. You couldn't quite imagine how anything could still be afloat and be burned out like it was, because it was just literally burned out. One spot I remember distinctly was on the conning tower. One of them kamikaze planes had hit that, and it was just an indention of the plane on the conning tower. That plane didn't blow like it was supposed to, and the rest of them all did, and enough of them that they caused all the fire and everything on it. And we put in better than 2 months on her, cleaning it up. And then we was led to think that we would be ship's company when they took it out of there, and it sent us all down to go aboard the old Saratoga anyway, in what they call seagoing fashion. You had all your belongings with you. Stood in line for about 6 hours, and then they decided, no, we ain't going to take you. There's too many boys want back on here that's already been on the old Saratoga, so they sent us back to Bremerton.
I wrote so many letters that I
I had to keep a little booklet and write down as who I wrote and the date on it, and so then even sometimes in a week or two I'd maybe write two letters to the same person, you know. Towards the end there, I was averaging 100 letters a month. And there's all these little emails, they're just one sheet of paper, you know, but one time when you got it home here, it was only about a 6-inch square piece of paper, you know. And then once in a while I'd get a local paper, the Castleman Reporter, and there would be guys in Europe and all over the country, and they had to put their addresses in there, and then I'd write to them. And then I had 3 other brothers that were married. I wrote to them. My brother and his wife, they were home and with my mother. And whoever I thought of at home, it was just something to do, you know, to write a letter. Sometimes it got returned, sometimes it didn't.
From the time that I arrived at the Isle of Anglesey till I disbanded, you'd go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. You'd get off at 6. You go to work the next day at 8 o'clock in the morning. You were on duty 24 hours a day. Once you put the aircraft you were responsible for into the air, you could do what you wanted to till it returned. It might be 4 hours later. You could write letters, you could play cards. Sometimes you'd try to make things pass the time away, or you could just lay down, have a nap. Being in a job like mine is completely different to the boys that were on the front line and in the trenches and carrying rifles. It's a completely different way of thinking, way of living, and the hazards are completely different.
We trained hard there, and wondering why we had to just from daylight till dark, they kept us on the go, and it was good because when we went into combat, we were physically fit, and just I thought I played football in college, but I thought I was in good condition. But when I came back, I had lost about 35 pounds over in combat. We had 1 meal a day. At noon, you'd have a big pancake rolled with orange marmalade. If you had somebody that was wounded or sick with malaria or yellow jaundice, you didn't always give them the exact account. You'd have to let them know how many people there were, because if you could get a couple extra pancakes brought up by the cooks would bring them up, then we'd have take turns of who'd get that extra pancake, you know. And I'll tell you, I couldn't look at orange marmalade for several years.
On Anzio, we were under fire all the time. Now, we had communication on the island. If you take those little carbon that you get in flashlights, put them alongside each other, hook an antenna to them and the ground to the other, and lay a razor blade on top of it and slide it apart until you get a radio station. You had to use earphones there. We didn't have any radios, but we had earphones. We could get Armed Forces radio or a German radio that was stationed in Rome. And it had a gal on there by the name of Axis Sally, and she played records for us, all them old sentimental records, and I really enjoyed that. I'd seen in the Stars and Stripes how to build that thing, and so I built it, and we all did it. Then I thought, well, let's hook them all together. There we had telephone service between all our dugouts that we had, so that was lucky too.
I saw things on Saipan that would baffle the mind. This was a resort area, and therefore to show their wealth, the way we were told, is that they had to have gold in their teeth. The Marines then would carry a plier in their pocket, and they pulled the gold teeth. Well, after the banzai that night, I went up, and you could jump from body to body. And every one of them had been shot in the head, because that way you knew he ain't going to throw a hand grenade or roll out one. And then they go about pulling the teeth. And these guys then would be very proud of these teeth, and I could not understand it. Their vengeance, I guess, was the word, get even. And I kept thinking of the Ten Commandments. They sure went to the dogs in that.
We moved too fast sometimes, eh? And there's one place we went, and we watched through the field again, of course, and then tanks, they broke through behind us, and they led the way. Well, this place was kind of on a high ground, and the big valley in front of us, and this is where we stopped. But the tanks went right up to the edge, eh? And all of a sudden, bang, the Germans fired from across the side away, what's about a good mile or more. And they had these 66 guns, fast like a bullet, eh? And they would knock a tank out just like nothing. And the first one, when it got hit, we told these guys where this 66 was, eh? But they didn't want to believe us until they got another one knocked out.
They put me in charge of passing ammunition to the 20 millimeter guns. I started getting a lot of repetition. They said, where's our ammunition from the fantail, you know? We're out of ammunition. Where's our ammunition? I said, well, the runners are there. No, we never got it. Then the gunnery officer called and gives me a bawling out and everything, you know, and you can imagine the kind of language he used. But I went and happened to go a little ways over, and there was a passageway from port to starboard. And I opened the door, and there I could see their eyes. And I said, come on, you got to haul ammunition back to the 20 millimeters. They're out of ammunition. I couldn't get them out of there, and so I went back, and then the gunnery officer came down, and I told him the story, and he said, where are they at? And he went over there. He never did get them to haul ammunition. They were too scared to do anything, the poor guys. You know, they were kids like the rest of us.
The unit I joined was number 14 section, 1st Canadian Army, headquarters. Anybody that had been a collaborator during the war, they put a swastika on the door. So when we went to Antwerp, they just said, go ahead, pick out a house and move in. And the dishes were still on the table. I guess they left in a hurry. The beds were unmade. And then I guess when we went into Germany, there was a town just across the Rhine River. It was just a pile of rubble. I remember the trees were maybe 8 feet high. The tops are all blown off. And the streets, the bulldozers just went through the streets, and just like snow in the wintertime, shoved it back, and there wasn't nothing standing.
We were sailing towards Okinawa. Half the guns are manned with skeleton crew 24 hours a day. I was second loader on the 20 millimeter. 2 soldiers were supposed to be manning this gun at the time. Well, I was down at the clipping room after supper waiting for general quarters, and all of a sudden I looked up, and here's a Jap Betty, twin-engine Betty, making a run from the stern on the ship. And I run up to my bridge, my gun, jumped into the shoulder harness, and the signalman was there. He was going to come over and help me. Well, I trained on that twin-engine Betty and emptied the magazine, which is 60 rounds into it. When I got done with that, the signalman wasn't around. He must have left. Well, that's what I should have done. I should have left. But I got out of the shoulder bed, and I was going to change magazines. By that time, the plane went over, and he took the forward radar off, and then he went down and hit just behind the quad 40 and took 30 feet of the bow rail off, him and the rail went over the side in one big flash. In the meantime, my old buddy Harry had dropped that bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And I'm telling you, sweetheart, if he came in that door right today, I'd throw my arms around and kiss him. Because that boy gave me life.
We were going to the Persian Gulf, and we were halfway between Florida and Bermuda, and we were torpedoed. It's like this whole room would rock back and forth. And we headed for the lifeboats and the rafts, and the ship heeled up just as if it were intended to. The aft end came up, and she was all lit up. The ship never has lights on it during wartime, but the ship was lit up just like a Christmas tree, and all the bells were ringing. And then she plunged under. When it was under, it blew up. And our raft jumped off the ocean about this far. I just don't remember how we stayed on. But we were there overnight and the next day, and then the ship came along from Sweden and picked us up. We went aboard that ship, and of course the Swedish weren't in the war. So their ship was all lit up at night, and we were such a nervous bunch. They took us into Puerto Rico, dropped us off. I'm sure they were glad to get us off because we were really nervous. We never slept, of course, because of the lights.
We'd been traveling for some hours. We stopped for a nature call, as we had to do every so often when you're riding in open trucks in cold weather. And when we made this stop, we got into the back of the big 6x6 truck ahead of us because it had a tarp over it. And we were visiting and apparently having a good time when somebody said, "Hey, we should be moving." And he got out and looked, and here the convoy had left. So we just headed south, hoping that we could catch up to them. And all of a sudden, we came across what we found out to be an infantry patrol just coming back from scouting well ahead of the lines. And they cursed us out for having vehicles in there. So we took off, still not knowing where we were going. Oh, we maybe went 5 or 6 more miles, and we came into a little village there, and we decided we'd have to just stay there for the night. Then we sent the two fellows in the Jeep to try and find our outfit. Less than an hour they were back, and they'd found them. They were up on a hill. They also had a lot of livestock because they had a big barn kind of built into the hillside, and we got into the hay mow and burrowed ourselves into hay and had the warmest night of sleeping that we'd had in about 6 weeks since we'd been in combat.
The strongest memory was in a really deadly typhoon in the area that we were patrolling, because the ship would roll and it would blow, and the mast on a small ship would sometimes go under a wave, and water would wash over the decks. And when that typhoon comes along, you better report to somebody because you might go under. When it was still, when it wasn't too rough, we would then concentrate on the enemy. This was a patrol ship that I was on, and we'd watch for overhead aircraft, and they would report down to us where the enemy might be, and we'd in turn report to them as to what they can expect in terms of a typhoon. To this day, I feel very, very proud of not only our ship and our doings while in the Southwest Pacific, but I felt good about my country when we got home.
went overseas to Hawaii as a radio operator and gunner. Our only form of entertainment, really, was swimming, and I liked to swim. One of our prime entertaining times, we'd take the mattress cover off of our bunk and take it to the beach, wet the mattress cover, hold it up over our heads, and run as fast as we could to put some air in there and then tie it. And then we'd carry this thing out into the waves as far as we could go, and a big wave would come by, and we'd flop on that thing, and the wave would carry us into shore. And it was a blast.
We stayed in the Philippines for 9 months, and then we made a trip across to Okinawa under our own power. Now, our landing craft could take about 250 men or maybe 3 tanks. There was about 30 of us landing crafts led by 3 destroyers because we didn't have the radar, we didn't have all the navigating equipment. And we got in on the end of a typhoon, and it was really something. Being a quartermaster, I was on the wheel a good deal of the time. When you go down, all you see is water. And when you come up, you try to get it back in line behind the destroyer and stay with your escort. And then down you go, and at night, you tied yourself into the bunk, or you'd be rolling out of the bunk. We were in Okinawa and Iwo Jima, and then the war ended after the atomic bomb was dropped. But that was quite a trip. I said our ship, our little landing crafts that made that trip of 1,000-some miles were smaller than the boat that Columbus used when he discovered America.
That morning, right after we landed, we sat in a hedgerow field, all around the whole field. I think we covered the whole field. And as we were in line along the side of this road, my company commander was up ahead a little bit with my platoon sergeant. And my platoon sergeant he done something that we were taught not to do. He stood up in a corner of a hedgerow, and a German machine gun opened up on him and hit him right through the throat. And even his dog tags, I guess they flew and supposed to have hit my platoon leader, Lieutenant Christie, right in the face. Some pieces of the dog tags. But anyway, he made a mistake. I mean, something that he'd probably tell us not to do. You just stand up, in front like that. And anyway, it was quite a shock seeing him laying there dead. We had to move his body out of the way so the tanks could get through. I remember that. He was our first casualty. The realization of war really set in at that time.
We were in Okinawa, and it was a little scary feeling because we were put on guard duty, and of course the Japs, they didn't know that the battle was over with. And here, the night before I went on guard duty, a Japanese sniper picked off one of our guards. Do you think I was a little scared? I had just turned 19, and so I was a little scared at that time. One day, the company commander came out and said that the war is going to be over with any day now because they had dropped atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan, and they were going to be dropping another one. I think that the second one already had dropped when he came out and told us that the war is going to be over with, because the second bomb was dropped August 9th, 1945 on Nagasaki, and we never knew what the atomic bomb was. I mean, we'd never heard of that, I mean, we were happy that the war was going to be over with, but to drop an atomic bomb to kill all those people, well, I kind of had mixed feelings about that, but it was the best thing that ever happened.
To order all 3 episodes of World War II Prairie Memories on one DVD, call 1-800-359-6900 or visit www.prairiepublic.org.